I'm Mike Novogratz. I'm the founder and CEO of Galaxy Digital. You can think of us as the Goldman Sachs of crypto. We've got an infrastructure business, including mining, staking, market making as a service. I spent most of my career as a macro trader. Macro trading is understanding the big shifts in society. So societal shifts, economic shifts, political shifts. And so Bitcoin is a macro asset. I got into Bitcoin in 2013 when it was $96. I bought a sizable amount of Bitcoin. I was wealthy at the time. And so, often people that make fortunes in markets make fortunes because they start with fortunes. Mining is a really important part of the ecosystem, right? Without miners, the blockchain doesn't exist. And so part of it was, how do you participate in the entirety of this Bitcoin ecosystem? To really understand it, you have to do it. It also can be a really lucrative business if you, and these are big ifs, if you have access to very cheap power, can buy machines at really good prices, and if you, most importantly, can execute, keep your machines online, you can have a really lucrative franchise. We were able to buy Helios at distressed prices, so check the box, that was great. It's in the ERCOT region of Texas, where there had been huge infrastructure invested previously, which allows a perfect setup for Bitcoin mining. There's not a lot out there in that part of the state. And so you're like, well, who's going to use all this power? You see windmills everywhere, solar. Like, who's going to use all this power? It's rugged country, but there's a self-reliance in those places. When you travel 20 miles west of New York or 20 miles east of LA, you realize America is a center-right country. They like to pledge allegiance and often say prayers before meetings. And Texas is right there in the heartland. It's God's country.
I think it's good because in a small community, we've got to have modern things come in. That brings interest to our community, and we need that. It's what keeps us alive.
I work for the electric company, so I've seen it fail, but it has its perks, I guess you could say.
I think economically, it's going to do great things for our county. I went and took the tour, and I think it's really interesting. It just, I can't grasp the concept of it quite yet.
The Bitcoin, I don't understand. If it's going to help the small people, the community, be able to pay our taxes or whatever like that, it's something that's going to help.
If it positively impacts this community, if it employs people, if it helps the school systems, if it helps us maintain our infrastructure, I'm all for it.
Very skeptical I am, because I don't know how they pay you. They go mine all this coin and stuff, but where is it? And how do you get your money? Yeah. So that's kind of weird.
Sorry.
That's our mayor, Louise Jones.
I'm in my third term. And I was a council member for about 4 terms. Yeah.
You're up here?
Yes, I graduated. I'm an ex-student.
You are? What year?
70. I'm old. All my siblings graduated from here.
What's the best part about here?
Cost of living, the friendliness, and you know everybody.
And what
but it's good. It's good.
What about the new Bitcoin facility?
Well, I learned a lot yesterday, more than I did. I didn't have much good things to say about it before then, but it's good. It's gonna be all right.
How much Bitcoin do you have?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing as crypto thing. Crypto? I don't know. I can't get my money out though because I don't know how. I just got a little bit.
Go to the facility, they'll help you out.
Yeah. Brianna's gonna help me. She works out there. Brianna Sturgis. Yeah, she's here somewhere. Yeah, she is.
I think Bitcoin is really, really interesting. I started reading and learning about Bitcoin about 3.5 years ago, and I started buying it in little sums, and I thought it was really interesting. I read some books about it, and before that, Jeff had tried to tell me about it when we lived back in California, but I wasn't interested. It took a while for it to kind of sink in a little bit into my brain. When I first heard that Bitcoin was coming to town, that we had a company that was going to mine Bitcoin, I thought to myself, oh, well, that's the job I'm going to have. I'm going to work there. I said those exact words. I'm going to work there. And before they even started hiring, I started emailing the company and their HR department, telling them, hey, you want to hire me? I'm going to work for you. My name is Brianna Sturgis. My husband, Jeff Sturgis, and we've lived here for about 4.5 years.
I'm semi-retired. I have a media company. I do apps and games for phones. That's primarily what I did in California.
I told Jeff that I was willing to give it a 5-year try and that I would do everything in my power to make it work and assimilate here, but that I was only going to give it 5 years. And we're coming up on the 5-year mark, and guess what? I don't want to ever leave. I work with Bitcoin with Galaxy Digital Holdings. At Galaxy Digital, I do whatever they want me to do. So I'm kind of a Jill of all trades. I'm not too much of a techie person, but if there's a project that needs to be done, I get it done. So I do project management for them. If there's a schedule or anything that needs to be coordinated, a series of events that need to happen, I can get you from point A to point B pretty quickly and keep us on track. So that's what I do for Galaxy. Well, this morning we have the city council and the mayor from Spur coming to Galaxy to have a tour of what we do here, and I'm excited and nervous. It's been over a year since the last time they were here when we had the grand opening. A lot has changed, and hopefully they'll see the growth and the progress. It's a common question people ask around here is how the pool is going to be fixed, when the pool is going to be fixed, and if their kids are ever going to be able to use the pool again. So it's something that we get a lot around here, especially when you live in the community. I think that the mayor and the city council will definitely bring up the pool, and I definitely think that they'll want to know what's going on with it.
I'm Maria Melton. I'm from Spur.
I'm Lady Vasquez. I'm from Spur.
I'm Don Wright. I was born in Spur.
I'm Glenda White. I was raised most of my life in Dickens County.
I'm Louise Jones. I'm the mayor of Spur. I'm in my 3rd year. I love my town.
We're almost complete with this side of the building. All we have left is actually deploying miners from this next break all the way down. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, plus the outdoor expansion for the new miners coming in. When this building is full, we will be able to power the city of Austin, Texas. So that's a lot of power.
It is.
It is a lot of power. My name is Brent Farmer. I'm from Dickens, Texas. I am the cooling engineer supervisor. Basically, I maintain all the mechanical equipment that's on location, from the pumps, dry coolers, and tanks and fluid. Fluid is circulating around the miners, transferring heat. The fluid comes outside through the pumps into the cooler where the heat is transferred to the atmosphere and cool fluid is then pumped back into the tanks. The cooler that we can keep the miners running, the faster and harder we can run them. Typically this system runs itself pretty well much, so we do a lot of preventative maintenance and just making sure that everything's running like it's supposed to. There is some blue collar work to mining Bitcoin, absolutely. It's the same as if we were working for any other big industry with fluid transfer. So sometimes we have pumps go down, we have fans go down, so yeah, we're gonna have to get in there and get dirty.
As soon as we get miners in, we make sure that they're not dead on arrival. So we make sure to test them, especially if they're used from somebody else. All of these miners that are kind of pieced apart are machines that we're repairing right now because they failed on the test station. We need to repair them before we go and dunk them. Usually as other mines upgrade their fleet, because we're so efficient and our power cost is pretty low, we can offload their miners and use their miners still making profit. So where they need to upgrade, we don't. My name's Michael Shane. I'm the optimizational lead at Helios under Galaxy. The most important part about a mining rig is the chipset that's embedded within the hash board. The S9s had like a 14 nanometer chipset, and now the newest rigs are coming out with around 3 nanometer chipsets. And that directly correlates to the efficiency of the miner and how much terahash you can pump out per wattage. So with the more efficient machines, we're able to make more money for less power.
I didn't see it touching my life personally, but I knew it was going to do great things for the county. After today, I think I can see where I can use it in my life.
It's good to see that we have some jobs for people to have, even though, may not be a whole lot, but it's more than we've had. But I'm so thankful that y'all are still gonna do our pool. I know it's still in you had to get a new, an engineer or contractor, but when the sign's there, and this week's gonna be homecoming, and we're gonna have a lot of questions. Are we gonna get the pool?
It just takes time.
Yeah. When someone you take over somebody else's stuff, sometimes you can't do that. You gotta start your own from scratch.
Who painted that? No, you didn't. But nice try. And in first place, school classes, winning $100, the class of 2026. Congratulations, 2026, first place. You'll get $100.
I think the things that I look forward to most about homecoming here is just the people coming back and reminiscing about the days when they were younger. But I also enjoy just seeing the young people that have come back that I've been involved with in their lifetime. My name is Kevin Brindle. I'm a county judge in Dickens County and been serving for the last 9 years. I come from a family that's been here since the founding days of the county and been involved in community service and in politics the whole time. So at its peak, there was a lot more farming. There was a lot of family farms, a lot of ranches. It's always fun to hear the stories from those exes that grew up the 40s, 50s, and the 60s in this area. And Spur was a central location where all the families would come. The side streets would be full of cars. Spur was a central economic hub, and that's where everybody come to trade for the most part, and had a lot of stores and services that wasn't provided anywhere else. So the economy has changed in the last 30 years. The cotton production and cultivated land has decreased considerably. We have a few agriculture-related jobs, but mostly it's livestock production and cattle production in this area. I think most of the people in the rural areas were skeptical, and many still are skeptical of Bitcoin mining and cryptocurrency in general. It's the unknown that I think creates that anxiety. I think most of it has to do with a discussion about a currency that is not tangible. I think that's hard for people in general, but more especially I think people in the rural areas have a difficult time understanding that. Or I think it's adequate to say that Bitcoin mining does have an economic impact. I think scale is also important. So when those large-scale operators can come into a rural community that's with a suppressed economy and can drive up those values and at the same time provide jobs, those are all welcome and they're all positive impacts of any industry. And we're hopeful that it's long-term. From the very beginning, I've made it clear that it's important for the companies that are coming into the rural towns to sow into the community, to be a part of the community, to partner with the community, and build a relationship, build a bond that's rooted in trust so that they can be successful here. I think it's very important that they sow into the community.
We moved here to Spur, and then it was not many months after that that we were able to close the deal and acquire the newspaper. And that first summer, it was just neat to be in a place where we didn't have to do much to reach out to get to know people. They would come to us and they would tell us their story.
We're kind of glass half full kind of people, and that doesn't necessarily reflect the broad population. I think for the broad population, our newest company neighbor, Galaxy Digital, the litmus test for them is going to be the pool. That's the biggest promise they have to keep to this community, is for people to be splashing in that pool come summer.
Spur's swimming pool has been a part of this, holding this community together since the 1930s. It was built by the WPA. It was built as part of what was hoped to be a Texas state park during the decade that Texas was starting to build out its state parks. It's a little bit too small for that, but it's a beautiful structure, and it galvanized and excited everyone in the community when the project for the swimming pool was unveiled. So we can't wait to see that come to pass.
For years, that defunct pool has been iconic with representing what's wrong with a small town. And if Galaxy can turn that around, that will be huge.
You can see a swimming pool that sits empty as symbolic of the drain of water resources, but also the brain drain resources. It's something that, seeing the opposite side of the possibilities, really could usher in a new era for this community.
Well, so when I first the idea was proposed to me to move to Spur from California, I did my research. I looked into the town and I got to know a lot of people online before we ever came out here. And there was actually quite a bit of material online about Spur and the tiny house movement before we got here. The newspaper reached out to me and asked me to start writing an article about our journey out there to Spur. So immediately I felt welcomed and loved. And I knew that this was going to be an experience that I had never had before, coming from suburban life and city life. This is just completely different. So this is our tiny house, and we brought it from California. Went about 60 miles an hour the whole way. My husband's brother and his wife towed it for us, and it took us about 3 days to get it here. When we brought it in, we came down Burlington Avenue, and there were people outside lined up, waving to us, saying hi. It was really awesome. This is our tiny house. We built it all out of basically found materials. We had a goal of every paycheck to buy something for the tiny house, and that was even before we had the tiny house.
We like to try to save the landfill whenever we can with repurposing a lot of materials.
Our wood-burning stove is our newest addition. Gotta say, it heats the whole house. All we have to do is open that door and it literally heats the whole place. This is our living room. The couch folds out, so if we have company. So over here we have our kitchen/laundry room, and I went ahead and did a chalk paint and did some oil rubbings and aged them, and I think they turned out pretty good, and that gave me the confidence to be able to do more. That and my husband reminding me, it's just stuff, it's just wood, and we want it to look rustic, so if you mess up, it's okay. So this is our backyard, and this is our chicken Red. We have a lot of hawks and foxes, but she's smarter than all of them.
She's a really good old girl. Yeah, huh?
He got this bathtub from another neighbor. It was in their yard, hooked up some hot water, and now I can come out here and take my baths away from everybody.
I have wanted to do the tiny house thing for many years. I lived in Chicago, and I looked up one day, where can I move in the United States and legally build a tiny house? And the first thing that came up was a site about Spur, Texas. And it listed the Spur proclamation that said this is the first tiny house friendly community. You switch out the cars here, it feels like it's 1962 with the social mores and all of that kind of stuff. We know our neighbors.
We know our neighbors and we help our neighbors.
We help our, yeah, you helped me raise the walls.
And you helped me many times.
So yeah, and that sense of community really is very strong here.
Okay, zoom in. Let's yell it. Zoom in for
I was first on a horse when I was a baby, and I've been on one ever since. It's pure joy. It's all I can think about, honestly. I just love the connection you get with the horses, and you become one with them. It's just a freedom.
Me and Bailey met up in Amarillo, and we ended up getting married and having our first son. And we slowly started working our way out of a bigger town. We wanted to go small town. We've lived out here for about 2 years now. We moved out here to keep the family ranch going.
8 generations. Our boys are the 8th out here. It's very important to us to keep our family in the area and on the property. God's not making any more land, so it's very important that somebody within our family, not necessarily even our boys if they decide not to, but someone just stay here once we're not here anymore and keep it going and forever, hopefully. My dad and granddad used to live out here, and they did use this as a source of income at that time. But now that we're out here, it's not our main source anymore.
I worked at Galaxy Digital, just right 3 miles down the road. Yeah, the opportunity with the new companies coming in and putting up solar farms and a mining facility. I mean, it's great for not just Dickens County, but Motley County and other surrounding counties around here, giving younger people like us more opportunity to be out here, to get away from the city and still be able to provide for their families.
When he first started applying for the job, everybody was a little nervous about it just because no one knew anything about it. But after he got into it, everybody was pretty accepting of it.
You've always got those family members that talk about it, oh, it's just fake money. Well, so is the dollar bill. I do think it has more Texan American values, more like towards the conservative side, where it's not able to be controlled. It is a set in stone rules and nobody can tamper with it. We don't like people around here messing with our cattle. We don't like them messing with our money either.
So I don't know about you, but I personally can't go to the grocery store, the library, the gas station without somebody asking me when the pool's going to be done or what about the pool.
Our goal to begin construction on the pool is by the end of the month. Everybody in the community that knows I'm working on that project, they're always asking, when are we going to start it? Are we still going to do it? And I just assure them that it's a commitment that we are going to stick behind and complete.
My experience is people seem to be a little skeptical at this point on whether or not the pool even can be done, if it even is fixable.
It's not as simple as everybody might think. So a bunch of the equipment is going to have to be replaced, and trying to stay within the footprint of the old pool without completely ripping it out and starting over. Like I said, it's just posed a couple challenges. We're wanting it to last generations. And so we're making sure that project is done the right way.
I do feel pressure. We all feel pressure to complete the pool. If I say something is good and I take the time to explain it to people, then they usually will trust that. And so yeah, my reputation is on the line. The people here are principled, so Galaxy needs to be principled. Principles are different than what you have to do. It's your core being, it's your core values, it's who you are. I wouldn't say I'm frustrated that the pool's not done yet. There's been a lot of factors at play. I know some people in the community are frustrated about it, but they just don't really understand all the hoops we've had to jump through. I don't really think about the life choice to move out here as much as I did before we got here. After about 2 weeks here, I really fell into my place in the community. And once I did that, I haven't looked back. This place is my home. It's the first place I have felt where I don't want to leave. I don't want to go someplace else. This is where I want to make my nest. They've really embraced us, and I think it's our attitude of wanting to be part of the community and try to help the community. If we didn't come in here with that spirit, I don't know if we would have had the same reception. I used to sub at the school here, and I got to know a lot of these kids, and they really do need this type of place to come and recreate and have things to do. It would feel like a big ball of sunshine to have this pool operating and full of people.